Today is July 9th. This is not simply another square on your calendar. A fundamental alteration has occurred, not in the world broadcast on your screen, but in the universe you hold inside. So many are hunting for evidence, for external clues, for shocking headlines or geological upheavals. But the signal you've been waiting for is not a shout. It is not loud. It is a quiet, faint tremor, and it only communicates with those who have learned to truly listen. On July 9th, something in the ambient energy has been recalibrated. Perhaps you registered it. A knot in your solar plexus, a sudden piercing lucidity in your mind, or an abrupt moment of profound quiet as the world continued its frantic pace around you. This is not your imagination. This is no accident. The cosmos, the planet, and your own awareness are intimately woven together, and today their alignment is uniquely precise. For those who are tuned in, July 9th feels distinctly different. You might not have the words to define it, but your cells sense it, your very breathing patterns sense it, and your soul recognizes it. This isn't dread, it's not elation, it's a much deeper resonance, a gentle tap on the window of your consciousness. So, here is the unvarnished reality. The sign has already manifested, but the vast majority will overlook it because we've been conditioned to search for answers out there. But the revelation is not an external spectacle. The true revelation is the instant you arrive completely in the present moment, the instant you become fully aware of the energy you are emitting, the instant it dawns on you that your time is becoming scarce, not for the world, but for your own inner evolution. You have been presented a window, an uncommon portal to awaken. July 9th isn't explosive. It doesn't clamor for your focus, but its influence is immense. It is exact. If you found even 5 minutes of silence for yourself today, you likely felt it. A small deviation from your routine thinking, a split second of truth nestled between two thoughts. This is the energetic realignment, and it's potent enough to shift the trajectory of your entire existence. If you have the willingness to halt and witness it, the world won't pause for your awakening. Your obligations, your diversions, your emotional currents, they will all persist in pulling you apart. But today, July 9th, an invitation stands before you. It is hushed. It is subtle, but it is unmistakable. You can continue to disregard it, or you can pause for just a moment and ask, what am I genuinely doing with my finite time, with this mind, with this life force? All too often, we wait for an ideal time to begin the internal journey. But July 9th didn't wait on your convenience. The recalibration is already done. The only question is, are you present for it, or are you lost in the static of everything else? Energetic realignments don't ask for your consent. They are indifferent to opinions. They operate according to higher principles, unseen directives, and one of these principles is that all things are temporary. This moment, this lucidity, this perfect alignment, it will fade, and if you fail to act on it today, you will have lost the opportunity. So, what is your next move? Become still, pay attention to your breath, witness your mind, let go of the persona, sit with the quiet, not for an eternity. Begin with a single honest moment, because one instant of authenticity with yourself holds more power than decades of pretense. July 9th has ushered in an energy that separates what is authentic from what is illusion. You might have seen it unfolding already. People in your life are either more settled or more frantic. Some are incredibly centered. Others are coming undone. Some feel a deep serenity while others are simply breaking down. This is the signal. It doesn't arrive with a prelude. It just presents the truth of who you are and the things you still must confront. Don't look for another special date. Don't look for a new guru. The lesson is taking place right now, within your immediate experience. If you were distracted earlier today, there's still a window, but it's not a large one. The opening is narrow. You must pass through it with intention today. You don't have to overhaul your entire life. You don't have to grasp every detail. You just have to become present. Present to your breath, present to your decisions, present to the path your life is on. This presence is the seed of all genuine transformation. The energy of July 9th is not here to frighten you. It is here to rouse you, to return you to what is essential. And what's essential is not what you've learned, what you have, or what you can display to others. What's essential is your capacity to be the calm within the chaos, to hold your ground when everything around you is trembling, to remain anchored when your own mind wants to scatter in 1,000 directions. This isn't theory. This is a practice. This is your life. And today, July 9th, is the training ground. If you tune in, your inner wisdom is already speaking. If you sit in quiet, your respiration will lead you back to now. If you stay present, this shift will elevate you to a more profound way of being. But if you keep rushing, hiding, and ignoring, then the signal has come and gone, and you won't realize what you let slip by until it is far too late. By then, this specific portal will have closed. So stop right here. Just be still, because today is July 9th, and something has changed. A call is sounding, not from outside, but from the very core of you. Will you pick up? Today is July 9th, and as the world goes about its business, something far more profound is unfolding, not in the heavens above, but right here within your own being. People talk of a great revelation as if it's a massive spectacle, a celestial event that will sweep people off the planet. The reality, however, is that the true revelation is not about being removed, it's about being uncovered. It is the moment when everything that is inauthentic starts to dissolve. It is the instant you perceive yourself with total clarity. No defenses, no narratives, no self-deception. On July 9th, the genuine signal is this: something within you is being exposed. And for those who are genuinely paying attention, it's a sight you cannot forget. The revelation is not an outside phenomenon. It is an internal disclosure. It is light being cast on all the areas of yourself you have dodged for far too long. This doesn't annihilate you. It simply reveals what you have allowed yourself to become. This is profoundly unsettling, as most people construct their entire identities on facades, on careers, possessions, accolades, or connections. But today, July 9th, none of that is strong enough to conceal the truth. The energy is too piercing, too exact. It slices right through the veneer. It strips away the counterfeit. And if you are not prepared, it can feel as if your whole world is collapsing. But what is truly occurring is that only the false is disintegrating. For July 9th is not about turmoil in the world, it is about a direct encounter with the self. As your inner defenses crumble, you start to see the authentic blueprint of your own consciousness. You begin to spot your own mechanisms, how you retreat into rage or manipulation or endless distraction. You begin to hear your true voice, not the one conditioned by your culture, but the one that has always existed beneath the surface clamor. This is the revelation. It is an exposure with no exit. Many are still anticipating a major event, blazing lights in the firmament, a booming divine voice, a paranormal occurrence. But the more aware among us already feel that the true spectacle is happening inside. The real event is stillness. Because when all external chatter subsides and you are left in solitude with your own consciousness, your own integrity, your own awareness, that is the very moment the change ignites. Today, July 9th, you are being beckoned to cease the chase, stop the act, and come out of hiding. Everything you believe yourself to be is now being put to the test. Not by anyone else, but by your own awakened self. This revelation is not a form of retribution, it is an invitation to recall who you genuinely are before society taught you who you ought to be. But this is where the test lies. Most will refuse this call because it is simpler to keep the facade in place. It is more convenient to continue the performance. But what's easy is not what's true, and truth is rarely comfortable. On July 9th, comfort is being withdrawn, and what takes its place is clarity, a raw, potent, undeniable clarity, the kind of clarity that forces you into stillness, the kind that compels deep self-reflection, the kind that makes pretending impossible. So inquire within right now: who am I when nobody is looking? Who am I when the titles are all gone? Who am I underneath the anxiety, the ego, the personal stories? That answer is the revelation. That answer is the awakening. This is what today offers. Not chaos, but exposure. And that is infinitely more powerful. You may be experiencing specific things today. A heightened sensitivity, feelings surfacing for no reason, old memories re-emerging, sudden insights. This is not a coincidence. This is the uncovering. This is your entire being responding to the higher vibration of July 9th. You are being brought into alignment with your own truth. And the aspects of you that cannot exist in that truth will start to tremble. Do not resist it. Witness it. Let it rise. Let it emerge. And when it does, just breathe, because your breath is the anchor that keeps you in your body while your mind releases its grip. If you sidestep this moment, it will circle back with greater intensity. But if you sit with it now, if you remain centered and permit yourself to feel it without judgment, then your transformation will ignite. You do not require a sacred space to feel this. You don't need an authority figure. You only need your honesty and the bravery to see what is. Because today, July 9th, the mirror is wiped clean, the curtain is thin, and your true self is prepared to be witnessed. The only remaining question is, are you brave enough to look? We have been conditioned to dread being judged. But today's energy is not present to condemn you. It is present to reveal to you. And when something is revealed, you are given a choice: ignore it and stay asleep, or engage with it and start to walk with your eyes fully open. The fact is, this day may not seem eventful. It might not be dramatic. But its effects will be long-lasting, because this revelation doesn't conclude in one moment. It is initiated in one moment and ripples through every day that follows. As long as you choose presence over avoidance, July 9th has exposed something vital. What you do next is entirely up to you. Will you bury it again under a pile of justifications, or will you stay present with the discomfort and let it be your teacher? Remember, this exposure is a profound gift. It marks the start of genuine liberation. Because when you have nothing left to hide, you have nothing left that can be used to control you. This is the offering of today. Not an escape but an awakening. Not dread but true freedom. Not an ending but a new genesis. So find your stillness, inhale it deeply, and allow July 9th to be the day you finally met your true self. Today is July 9th and today the signal arrived. But the issue isn't whether the signal was sent. The real issue is, were you paying attention? Because let's be honest, most people weren't, and most people won't be. It's not because the signal is too complex. It's not because it's concealed. It's because it's quiet. It doesn't demand your focus. It whispers. It moves with subtlety. It reveals itself only when you are still. But stillness is a practice that most have forgotten. On July 9th, the world didn't come to a halt. People got up as usual. They checked their devices, mindlessly scrolled through the same feeds, and pursued the same old diversions. And while their focus was consumed by the external, the internal world went unnoticed. The greatest misfortune isn't that truth is out of reach. The misfortune is that people are too mesmerized by distractions to perceive it. They demand signs, but only the kind that are loud and earth-shaking. But the genuine signals, the true revelation, manifests silently in the space of a single breath, in a spark of awareness, in an unexpected moment of deep silence you didn't engineer. Today, July 9th, was filled with such moments, but the majority let them slip by. They couldn't perceive the quiet because their minds were a cacophony of noise. They couldn't sense the shift because they were too occupied with running away from themselves. You see, the reason most miss the signals is they consistently look in the wrong places. They anticipate transformation to originate from the outside. They hope for a booming voice from above, an instantaneous wonder, a public service announcement. But existence doesn't operate that way. Truth does not yell. It only becomes apparent when you are prepared to see. And readiness doesn't mean perfection. It means being still, being truthful, being ready to just stop for an instant and look. Today, July 9th, extended that opportunity to everyone. But so many allowed it to pass because we are addicted to motion, to sound, to constant reaction. We cram every empty space with something to accomplish, to view, to resolve. We cannot sit with ourselves. And that is precisely why the signal goes right past them. The revelation is not a detonation. It is a disclosure. It's the moment when all that is superficial begins to peel away. But if your identity is constructed solely on the superficial, then when the authentic is revealed, you panic, you fight it, you flee, and you lose the moment. On this day, July 9th, an uncommon portal has opened. A moment of absolute clarity, a thinning of the veil, an energetic realignment that makes it easier, just for today, to discern what is real. But the mind needs to be calm to perceive it. And therein lies the challenge. Most people have not conditioned their minds for calm. They have not cultivated the practice of silence. They haven't exercised being present. So when the signal appears, they don't see it for what it is. It's like attempting to view your reflection in a lake rippled by wind. The image is there, but the surface is too agitated. You need calm water to see with clarity. You need a calm mind to recognize the moment. Today is not the apocalypse, but it is the end of the pretense. On July 9th, what is genuine becomes prominent, and what is false becomes a heavier burden to bear. This is why people are feeling more on edge today. This is why a sense of unease is rising in so many. It's not because something terrible is happening, but because something inauthentic is perishing and your true self is at the door. But here is the critical part: you must be willing to listen. You have to pause, because this signal isn't waiting for you to get ready. It has come, and your task is to slow down sufficiently to embrace it. If you overlooked it earlier, stop right now. Take a breath. Close your eyes. Ask yourself, what have I been running from? What am I terrified to see? These questions are your path back to the signal, because the revelation is not an event that plucks you from the world. It is a process that strips away the layers you have outgrown. But if you remain immersed in distraction, if you live in reaction, then you forfeit this chance. You miss the clarity, you miss the shift, and then time will go on, and you'll be left wondering why nothing feels right. It's because the signal came, and you were absent. So don't count on another July 9th. Don't expect a more obvious sign. Don't assume you'll get another try. The universe does not send its messages on repeat like your mind wants it to. It speaks once clearly, the rest is your responsibility. Today is all about awareness. It's about revealing what has been there all along, concealed behind your business. The signal has come to awaken you, not to entertain you. If you wish to see it, you must become present. If you wish to receive it, you must become still. Most miss the signs not due to blindness, but due to distraction. Refuse to be one of them. Seize this day. July 9th is more than a date. It's a portal. And that portal will not stay open indefinitely. You still have time, but not a lot. Sit with yourself. Listen without any agenda. Feel what is real. The signal is right there. The truth is right there. And when you finally see it, have the courage not to turn away. Today is July 9th, and something of great consequence is taking place. Something the majority of people will fail to notice. This isn't just a new day. It isn't merely the calendar page turning. It is a fundamental realignment of energy, a change in how existence itself interacts with you. On the surface, things might appear normal, but beneath it all, the game has changed. The old rules no longer apply. One of the most critical alterations beginning today is in how karma functions. Previously, karma operated on a delay. You could commit a harmful or thoughtless act, and the repercussion might not surface for years. You might never even link the cause to the effect, but that buffer period has vanished. On July 9th, the velocity of karma was transformed. It is now rapid, almost instantaneous. Whatever you project is what you get back. Not over the course of years, but within hours, even minutes. You conceive the thought, you experience the emotion, you perform the act, and the universe mirrors it back to you immediately. This is not a form of punishment. It is a matter of precision. Life is not being cruel, it is being radically honest. July 9th brings with it an undeniable clarity, and that clarity includes an immediate reflection of your own energetic output. If you move through your day consumed by rage, by dread, by harsh judgment, you will watch it return to you, not from some distant source, but from the people you meet, from your physical body, from the disruption of your own inner tranquility. Conversely, if you operate from a place of love, of truth, of clarity, you will sense this new quickness too. You will observe how things fall into place more smoothly, how a sense of peace remains with you, how your day seems to just work. That isn't good fortune. It's not a random occurrence. It is karma responding with unprecedented speed. This is the new frequency of today, July 9th. This is precisely why self-awareness has shifted from a luxury to a necessity. It is required, because now every thought you have, every emotion you harbor, every word you speak carries an increased energetic charge. You are co-creating your reality with far greater speed, and if you are operating on autopilot, you will be wounded by your own creations. If you are awake, you will thrive because of them. This is the new distinction. Before July 9th, you could get away with hiding from your true intentions. You could disguise your motivations. You could wear a fake smile. Now, the energy that fuels the smile is what counts more than the smile itself. Others will feel your authentic state, and so will existence. You might already be sensing this today. You have a conversation, and the person's reaction is surprisingly intense, more than is typical. Why? Because the energy you are transmitting is more potent now. The signal you broadcast is being received in real time. This is the new vibration, and it launched today, July 9th. What is the implication for your life? It means that the space for pretending has shrunk to zero. There is no longer any room for self-delusion. You cannot continue planting seeds of animosity and hope to reap a harvest of calm. The link between action and consequence is just too fast. You no longer require a spiritual guide to show you your own reflection. Your life itself is now holding up the mirror. If you are feeling a sense of friction today, you must ask yourself, what am I harboring inside? What energy am I broadcasting to the world? Because that is precisely what is returning to you. And if you are feeling a state of peace today, acknowledge it, nurture it. You are its source. And that is proof of your alignment. July 9th marks the dawn of a new, deeper kind of accountability, not just for your deeds, but for the state of your inner world. You cannot afford the luxury of living unconsciously anymore. You can't be casual with your own energy. The mirror has become too sharp. Every thought creates a ripple. Every feeling has a trajectory. You must start to observe them with care. But don't be alarmed. This change is actually a gift. It signifies that your transformation can be faster. Your healing can be faster. Your growth can be faster. If you are dedicated, if you are conscious, this era will feel like an incredible blessing. What once might have taken years of effort can now be accomplished in mere days. But if you persist in blaming, reacting, and resisting, then yes, your life will feel incredibly heavy because you will be fighting your own reflection. Today, July 9th, presents a chance to reset, to truly see what your energetic output is producing. No more hiding, no more procrastinating. Just observe. The feedback is already appearing. If you desire a different reality, then you must change your inner state. Purify your intent. Slow down your reactions. Be a witness to your thoughts. Do not wait for others to transform. They are navigating their own rapid karma. Today is not about exerting control. It's about finding alignment. If a situation feels off, take a step back, look within, and recalibrate. Life is not penalizing you. It is instructing you. This is the profound gift of today. This is the essential wisdom of July 9th. Karma is no longer a far-off idea. It has become your immediate reality. And it's providing you with a live feed about the person you are becoming. Use this feedback. Don't shrink from it. Don't run from it. Align with it. And every facet of your life will start to transform. Today is July 9th, and your karma is speaking more clearly than ever. Can you hear it? Today is July 9th, and on this day, countless people are holding out for someone to rescue them. A guide, a master, a charismatic leader, a revolutionary system, a perfected world. But the reality is this: no one is on their way. No one is going to liberate you from your own mind. The era of waiting is finished. The era of external searching is over. The solution was always within you. And on this day, the prevailing energy is compelling you to finally turn your gaze there. The only path forward is the path inward. July 9th has made this abundantly clear. The clamor of the world is only going to intensify. The number of distractions will soar. The volume of information will explode. But truth will not be discovered in more. It can only be found in less distraction, less chatter, less pursuit. The only true sanctuary now is your internal practice. You can label it meditation, self-inquiry, breathwork, or silence. The terminology is irrelevant. What is crucial is the practice itself. A daily, dedicated, honest practice. This is no longer just a spiritual pastime. It has become essential for survival. Not just physical survival, but your mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. If you are not cultivating inner quiet during these times, you are drifting off course, slowly but inevitably. July 9th did not arrive to frighten you. It arrived to shake you from your slumber, to awaken you to this fundamental truth. The external world is fracturing in numerous ways. Structures are proving to be fragile. People are ridden with anxiety. Emotions are highly volatile. But those who are anchored within themselves will remain unshaken. That brand of stability is not derived from headlines, from governments, or from gurus. It is built from the inside out, and you cannot purchase it. You cannot get it on loan. You have to construct it yourself, piece by piece, breath by breath. Take an honest look at your life. Today, July 9th, acts as a perfect mirror. It shows you exactly where you are still reliant on the outside world to grant you a sense of security, of value, of wholeness. And the more you depend on the external, the more you will hurt. Because the world is, by its very nature, unstable. It always has been. True peace was never intended to be located out there. Peace is an internal choice you have to remake, moment after moment. When the world gets chaotic, you must become still. When everyone around you is reactive, you must hold your center. When the path ahead is obscured, you must come back to this very moment. This is the inner way, and it is the only way that will offer any real meaning from now on. Not because a person declared it, but because life itself is showing it to you directly. On July 9th, you are not being disciplined. You are being reminded that the core of your life has to be your own awareness. Not your career, not your device, not your social image. Your awareness, that silent, observing part of you, is your only true anchor. And the more you strengthen your connection to it, the less the external world will have the power to pull you away from yourself. People will frantically ask, what is the right thing to do today? Where is the right place to be? What problem should I fix? But all of that is of secondary importance. The primary and most vital action is to journey inward, to sit, to breathe, to witness, and then to repeat it the next day and the day after that until it is no longer a chore, until it has become your fundamental way of existing. You will not discover your salvation in circular thinking. You will not find your clarity by lodging complaints. You will not unearth the answers by running from yourself. July 9th is showing you that you must stop. Stop the frantic chase. Stop the constant talking. Stop reaching outside for a treasure that can only be found inside. Even if the world spirals into greater chaos, you can cultivate greater calm. That is your authentic power. That is your new responsibility. But this state doesn't manifest by chance. It manifests through self-discipline, through consistency, through the choice to come back again and again to your inner stillness, even on days you resist it. You will have difficult days, days when your mind refuses to settle, when your emotions are screaming, when your body is restless. But those are precisely the most critical days to continue your practice, because your peace isn't validated when life is effortless. It is proven when everything feels difficult and you still consciously choose to find your center. July 9th is an invitation, a powerful reminder, a clear signal. The world will present you with countless roads, but only a single one leads to genuine freedom, the inner path, the path of integrity, of observation, of deep alignment. And this path is not flashy. It's not attention-grabbing, it's quiet. And for that reason, the majority will pass it by. But those who choose to walk it will discover something truly invaluable, a peace that is unshakable, a clarity that cannot be distorted, a strength that cannot be seized. And so today, do not ask who is on their way to rescue you. Ask instead how committed you are to rescuing yourself from your own distractions, from your own self-deception, from your own fears. Everything you could possibly need is already within you, but you must become quiet enough to find it. You must become still enough to hear its voice. And July 9th is the ideal day to start, because on this day, the energy itself supports this inward shift. The noise of the world is escalating, but so is your opportunity to rise above it from within. So sit, breathe, practice. Let this day mark the beginning of your authentic journey, not the path of reacting, not the path of escapism, but the path of pure presence. No one is coming, because no one has to. You are already here. Today is July 9th, and this day isn't just another tick on the calendar. It serves as a reminder, a gentle yet firm signal that your time is becoming a precious commodity. For years, countless people have heard the same message. It's time to wake up. But they put it off. They felt they were too occupied, too distracted, too fearful to look at themselves honestly. But now, that message is impossible to disregard. The doorway is still ajar, but it is no longer wide open. It has become narrow, and it is in the process of closing. On July 9th, the universe is presenting a final window of pure clarity, a moment to make a choice, a moment to realign. But this is not an event you can put on your schedule. This is not a task you can defer with a promise of, "I'll get to it tomorrow," because the energetic environment has already been transformed. The chance is right here in front of you, and every moment you hesitate makes it progressively harder to respond. Many are operating under the illusion that they have infinite time, that they can persist in their old habits, their conditioned patterns, their unconscious existence, and make a change later. But July 9th has brought an uncomfortable truth to the surface. Later might not arrive, and the moment to take action is right now. Not next week, not tomorrow. Now, today. When you turn away from the signs, you start to feel a sense of weight. You begin to experience anxiety for no apparent reason. You feel agitated, confused, out of sync with life. This is not a fluke. This is your entire being telling you that you are living out of alignment. And on a day with the energy of July 9th, that lack of alignment becomes painfully obvious because the frequency is so high. It powerfully pulls you in the direction of truth. But if you fight against that pull, it drags you into suffering. The reason the doorway is closing is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in the nature of truth itself, which always moves forward. Truth never stalls. It is like a current in a river. If you fail to step into it now, you will have to wait for the next major cycle to come around. And that next cycle may not be so gentle, because the longer you ignore the call from your soul, the more forceful that call must become. And sometimes that call manifests as a crisis, a breakdown, or a chaotic event just to command your attention. But July 9th is not about creating a crisis. It is about presenting an opportunity. It is a day drenched in light, but only if you are ready to acknowledge the shadows. Only if you are brave enough to see what's real, what is real inside of you. Not the persona you present, not the images you share, not the identity you fabricated, but who you authentically are when there's no one left to perform for. If you are feeling resistance arise today, that is your sign. If you feel emotionally turbulent, uneasy, hypersensitive, that is your signal. Your inner system is demanding a change, and you can either heed its call or dismiss it. But the decision you make today carries real weight. Minor choices compound into major shifts, and one step in a misaligned direction can solidify into a habit. One step in the right direction can become your destiny. July 9th is presenting you with a clear path, a quiet, honest, authentic way forward. It does not guarantee you comfort. It guarantees you growth. It promises you depth. But you are the one who has to walk it. No one can do it for you. This journey is not about achieving perfection. It is not about resolving every issue in a single day. It is simply about showing up for yourself. It's about pausing, looking inward, and declaring, "I have been living in a trance, but right now I choose to be awake." That moment of conscious choice is the doorway. That awareness is the opening itself. You do still have time, but not an abundance of it. The longer you put it off, the more powerfully the world will pull you back into the undertow of distraction, of reaction, of unconscious living. And the unconscious mind is a perilous place to be right now, because the new energy is sharp. It does not support avoidance. It does not celebrate spiritual laziness. It simply amplifies what you are, not what you wish you were. So be radically honest. Are you tuned in? Are you truly present? Or are you still inventing reasons not to be? On July 9th, there's no more space for rationalizations. There is no more room for pretending you didn't get the message. The call is here, loud and clear. It is not an external sound. It is originating from within, from your body, from your breath, from your quiet awareness, all posing the same inquiry: are you ready? There will certainly be those who scoff at this, who claim nothing is happening, who label it as superstition, melodrama, or fantasy. Let them talk. Let them remain asleep. But you, if you are still with me, something deep within you already confirms that this is real. You have registered the shift. You have perceived the urgency. You have heard the silent voice in your own heart whisper, "It's time." Do not wait for life to get more aggressive, it will. And when it does, it may not be gentle, because when you ignore a soft knock, life returns with a louder one. And if that is ignored, it kicks the door down, not to hurt you but to wake you. But you do not have to wait for that escalation. You don't need suffering to evolve. You can select presence instead. You can select self-reflection. You can select stillness. That is the true offer of July 9th, a peaceful transition, if you are open to receiving it. So stop for a moment, right now. Ask yourself, what am I still clinging to that I know it's time to release? What am I still dodging that I know I must confront? What truth have I pushed down that is now fighting to be seen? These are not easy questions, but they are vital. Because once this door closes, it becomes much more difficult to find it again. Not impossible, but harder. And you are worthy of ease. You are worthy of alignment. You are worthy of clarity. But you have to take the step now. July 9th is today, and today is your day to come home to yourself. The portal is open, but not for much longer. Step through it, not with anxiety, but with presence. Not with panic, but with deep purpose. Because the truth is, this is your time.